Good evening and welcome to the celebration and recognition of Women of Tomorrow 2014. I'm Pat Cornish, Chair of the Maryland Commission for Women, representing Talbot County. I wanted to just tell you what the mission is. The mission of the Maryland Commission for Women is to work with Maryland state government to advance solutions and to expand social, political, and economic equity. The Women of Tomorrow Awards was established by the Maryland Commission for Women in 1997 to honor and acknowledge talented young women in grades 7 through 12 from throughout Maryland. Those who have demonstrated academic excellence, extraordinary community service, and outstanding leadership skills. Each year, 2 young women, 1 honoree and 1 honorable mention, are selected in each of 3 categories. Since the inception of the awards, 98 young women have been recognized. We look forward to the addition of tonight's honorees to this very prestigious group of young women. It's now my pleasure to recognize the commissioners of the Maryland Commission for Women who are with us this evening. If I could ask you to please stand to be recognized. Lynn Petrell, who you met earlier, is co-chair of the event from St. Mary's County, and Betsy Ramirez. Betsy, where are you? Right here is the other co-chair. We would also like to recognize Judith Von Prather, who will be assuming the position of the Executive Director of the Maryland Commission for Women on July 7th. Judy, you in the back. And now please help me welcome Bonnie Ariano, the Special Assistant to the Secretary of the Department of Human Resources, to bring greetings.
Thanks, Pat. Good evening. I'm here to represent Secretary Ted Dallas from DHR, who sends greetings and congratulations. He was amazingly impressed this year, not that he isn't every year, when he sees the list and he sees the accomplishments that you've done. In fact, one of his comments was, wow, a lot of my friends haven't done half of this. So, you know, I think there's really the recognition, and he was sorry that he couldn't be here tonight for a number of reasons. One, because the task gets harder and harder every year. The nominees are amazing, and I don't envy the task of the commissioners who work on this. And so Lynn and Betsy, really, I have to thank you. It's a very thoughtful process. It's not done lightly. The 7 of you who are here tonight, who are the honorees, deserve it, and really are to be recognized, because there were a lot of people who had done some wonderful things, but you all have risen to challenges, you have done what you've wanted to do, and you've made a real impact on yourself, your community, your families. That's why all these people are here supporting you tonight. For DHR, Department of Human Resources, it's particularly a sweet event to be at, because much of our focus is on children around the state who have had a rough way to go. They, from birth to adults, a number of them have been abused. We've seen the children have been abused, who are neglected, who are in foster care, may go on from that to juvenile services. A lot of them are still able to succeed, but it's the kind of thing where that's a population that we see a lot. So to be here with young women who represent kind of the best of what we can produce, it is quite an honor, and I'm really proud to be here. Secretary Dallas tonight, just to kind of, he was supposed to be at a Ready by 21 event. And what that is an initiative exactly to do what I just talked about, is to work with kids from birth to adulthood, to give them the resources, the support, the opportunities to really achieve their potential. Well, that's what you all have done, is you've had the resources and the opportunities and the support, I can tell, by family and friends and teachers and everyone who's here to support you in this tonight. But you really made it work, and it's a really humbling experience for me, I know, to read the accomplishments that you all have had, because I'm not sure how much, that I have to live a long time to be able to do what some of you have done in a very short time period. I'm going to end because I'm not going to take up time. I know we want to hear from you all, and you probably want to eat and tell us to just sit down. But I want to end with a quote that I've heard and I've used quite often. Once I heard it from my son. In high school, he had to write a paper. And I don't remember the purpose of the paper, but at one point the quote he used was, "Do or do not. There is no try." And he gave credit to the author of that as a wise man. Now, some of you are smiling because you're familiar with where that came from. So I asked him, well, who is this wise man? Because obviously he must have known what he was talking about. My son, who was a Star Wars fanatic, said Yoda from Star Wars. And if you're familiar with it at all, when that phrase was used, it was when Luke Skywalker was learning to be a Jedi Knight, and he was being taught by Yoda how to understand his power, how to use his power, how to really make it work for him to be good over evil. So I know you're not Jedi Knights, but I think it applies. In your own way, you probably are. You may not levitate things, but you've certainly moved people's experiences, you've moved people's hearts, you've touched a lot of people that have brought you here tonight. So I just want to say again, congratulations on behalf of myself and Secretary Dallas. Challenges only gave you more opportunity to pursue what you've done. And I'm humbled to share the evening with you, and I wish you much success in the future, which I know will be the case with you. So thank you.
At this time, I'd like to ask Betsy to come to the podium and read the citations. We've received citations from Senators Mikulski and Cardin, and also we have the governor's proclamation as well that she will read. Each honoree will receive a copy of this. We'll just read it this one time though.
Okay. So, be it known that on behalf of the citizens of the state, in recognition of your exceptional academic ability and the high standard of excellence you have demonstrated in your work, both in and outside the classroom, with congratulations on your selection as an honoree for the Woman of Tomorrow Award for 8th grade, well, all grades. This is one. And as people of Maryland join together in expressing our respect and appreciation and enthusiastic efforts to make positive difference in community in the future of the state, we are pleased to confirm upon you this governor's citation and the date, June 26th.
Signed by the governor.
And this one is from Barbara Mikulski, Senator Barbara Mikulski, and it says, this certificate is presented to the nominee for your selection as 2014 Woman of Tomorrow by the Maryland Commission for Women in recognition of your dedication to academic excellence and commitment to making a difference in the lives of others within your school and community. Congratulations. And this one is from Senator Ben Cardin. Certificate of Special Recognition presented to the nominee with appreciation for your service and achievement, 2014 Woman of Tomorrow Award. And all of your
Right now, I'd like to get going, and I can call the first nominator, Stephanie Wazalowski, to the podium to introduce Eden.
Good evening. My name is Stephanie Wazlowski, and I'm principal at Milton Summers Middle School in Charles County, Maryland. And it is my pleasure, or was my pleasure, to nominate Eden Williams for this recognition, and certainly my honor tonight to introduce her to you. Eden Williams is a recent 8th grade graduate from Milton Summers Middle School, which is located in Charles County. Eden is an active member of the Friends of Rachel Club and the Emerging Young Women Leaders Program. Both programs focus on goal setting, leadership, and making a difference not only in their life, her personal life, but to the lives of the people in the community that surrounds her. As a member of this club, she works to develop, along with other club members, a sense of community. She develops leadership. She participates in workshops and symposiums that are sponsored by some of our local women's groups, in particular, the Nu Zeta Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority. And she works with her community and in her church as well. They work on career exploration. They look at their school and their community and what they can contribute, and certainly she has contributed a lot. Throughout the year, one of the biggest campaigns at our school was an anti-bully program, and Eden was very vital participant in that, promoting positive gossip and random acts of kindness, not only in our school, but also in our community. Eden is hoping to pursue a profession in music. She participates in sort of plays the piano as well as guitar, and she's been taking lessons for the last 5 years. And now she's actually mentoring other students who are aspiring to be musicians. As a matter of fact, we took the group to the White House this past December. And I turn around the corner and Eden is on the piano in the lobby of the White House playing for all of the visitors that day. And I have to say, she was receiving lots of attention, more so than the president. Eden volunteers at numerous things in her community. She also volunteers for things at school while also maintaining a 4.0 academic GPA in a rigorous course of studies in our gifted program and accelerated learning programs. She is an amazing young woman, one that we are very proud of at Milton Summers Middle School, and certainly if she desires to be a musician and she's hoping to go to the Juilliard Juilliard, there's no doubt in my mind that if that's what she wants to do, she will indeed do that. So congratulations, Eden. We are very proud of you, and at this time, again, it is my pleasure to introduce Eden Williams.
Alright, hi everybody. How's everybody doing? Dinner was really good, so I apologize if I'm looking 10 pounds overweight here. But I didn't prepare a speech because I really like to speak from the heart. But as soon as I got up here, I kind of forgot everything. So forgive me for that. But we are all here to celebrate the accomplishments of young women, me being one of them. And I am very blessed to be surrounded by so many strong, independent women, most of them whom are sitting at my table. My principal gave that lovely introduction, my older sister who I look up to so much, my grandma who's the head of the household, and she will tell me exactly what to do when I'm in crisis or just everyday life. She wants to control my life. But and my old guidance counselor, Miss Denise Barnes, they've all worked together so hard to form who I am, and I am very, very appreciative for everything they've done for me. I'm a little nervous here because I'm really excited. I'm so happy to have been selected for this, that my principal gave me the opportunity, and that I was nominated first of all, but then selected. And for that, I am truly thankful. I don't know what else to say, but that I am very grateful. I'm getting a lot of repetition here. I am very grateful for the women, but I can't forget about the men. Can't forget about that. My family, my community, my state of Maryland. I am very thankful for everybody who has participated in creating who I am today, helping me develop my skills and my talents. So I would just like to say thank you for everybody for being here. I hope everybody has a great night. I love everybody here. I don't even know half of you, but I love everybody. We're all friends. Hello, sister. I hope you guys have a good night, and thank you very much.
And
now I'd like to have Jim Patterson come forward to introduce Sadia Noor.
Thank you very much. It's a real honor for me to introduce Sadia Noor. I'm her counselor at Argyle Middle School in Montgomery County, but I have to say that oftentimes I sort of follow Sadia's lead. She has a nice way of suggesting ideas to me to make me think that they're my ideas. And then she gets approval from me and then she carries them out. And I think that's a real leadership skill. In elementary school, Sadia helped out with the photography club, the cooking club, and she was a safety patrol. When she came to Argyle, we had heard that at her grade school she was a very good student and a strong leader, and she's proven that with us in pretty much everything she's undertaken. At Argyle, she became the secretary for the SGA, and she's very much a leader in that group, which has been one of the most active we've had at Argyle. She was instrumental in their family movie nights and their other activities. She was invited to be an Argyle ambassador to help out with special school events, and she was also invited to visit elementary schools to talk to girls about technology and Argyle's Tech Magnet program. She was among the first participants in the Argyle Montgomery County Public School Science Fair from Argyle. Sadia also has led a group of girls who visit me regularly to ask, and some would say nag, me about things they can do to help the school and the community and even more broadly, the world. In fact, she emailed me this summer recently just to ask what they could undertake this summer while they're away from Argyle. She is also a real leader of this group. She quietly develops really good ideas for these guys, and then she motivates them and a lot of times gives them direction in a really subtle way. With her leadership, this group has developed a tennis club, including recruiting an advisor, raising money, buying new nets, which Sadia found online, and cleaning up the courts, which were overrun with weeds and trash. She organized that effort too, brought the tools, got all the kids to participate. It now has about 25 or 30 participants probably, and it's a very popular group. In fact, they turn kids away from the tennis club. Her group of girls helped with an anti-bullying campaign, with posters and announcements and a PowerPoint that I used in classrooms. They also helped with a special program to prepare 7th grade students for their high school choice. At Argyle, you get to choose among different high schools. I mentioned to this group that I knew of a woman who was trying to raise money for supplies for a school she was hoping to open in Sierra Leone. And Sadia and her friends got to work and collected left behind and unneeded school supplies throughout the school for 2 to 3 days. They also brought supplies from home and developed a plan for melting old crayons to provide children with new ones. Finally, she directed an effort to raise money for the tsunami victims in the Philippines. I just mentioned one day when they were asking me about some things they could do, that this was a cause they might consider, and they usually stay with me after school for a couple hours on Tuesdays. I just mentioned it to them, and she got the group to organize a bake sale. They did it all themselves, including the marketing and making the food, and in one day they raised about $180, which went to the Red Cross. One other thing which I think says a lot about Sadia, she came to me at the end of this year to tell me confidentially about a personal problem that a friend was having. A friend that she knew would not want to share that issue with me. And she often looks out for friends that way. Sadia's very bright and a great girl, but more than that, she's really a leader in I think, the best sense of the word.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Well, first of all, I think we should all thank God for letting us be here at this moment, because for that, we can wake up every single day and not have any worries in our mind. I'd also like to thank the Maryland Commission for Women for getting this privilege for me, and also for me being selected, so thank you for that. I also have to thank my supporting family, because my mother and my father who pushed me towards my goals, and I also have my sister who couldn't be here today, who never fails to set an example for me. From here on out, I would like to have more roles where I could be a leader, because for me, leading a group of people is like a difference in my life or theirs, whichever. Anyone and everyone who's ever helped me in my life, I'm truly thankful for all that you have done. So thank you.
Next, I'd like to call Kelsey Such. Have I pronounced that correctly? Such. Claire Hudson's table? There you go.
My name is Kelsey Shook, and I'm a teacher at Cecil County Public Schools. It's my honor to introduce Claire Hudson. I've gotten to know Claire and her family because I coach her in field hockey. Claire is a 14-year-old freshman at Perryville High School. During her time at the high school so far, she's been involved in, I think, anything she can get her hands in. She's very active, not only in the school, but also in her community. She, on the field hockey team, earned the most valuable player as a freshman on the junior varsity team. She also was brought up to the varsity field hockey team during playoffs, where she lettered. During the indoor and outdoor, she plays on the North Bay Field Hockey Club, where she has attended the National Field Hockey Tournament at Palm Beach, Florida. She also ran indoor track this year, and as a freshman, she qualified for the regional track tournament this winter. She also ran outdoor track, where she ran sprints and tried her hand at pole vaulting, which is very difficult. She also is involved in the high school play. She was involved in the musical at the school, and she's also part of the women's and concert choir. While balancing all of this, she was able to maintain a 4.5 GPA her freshman year. She's a member of the Junior National Honor Society, and she'll participate in our STEM program at the high school. And STEM is the science, technology, engineering, and math program that we offer. And because she'll be involved in this, she also wants to become a civil engineer. Outside of school, she is an active member in her community. She volunteers at her parish, where she participates in fundraising programs, biannual festivals, and bazaars. She also has helped raise money for the homeless food pantry, and she stocks that on a regular basis. She also prepares meals and delivers food to the homeless. She's also volunteered at the Challenge program for disabled kids to help them play baseball. It has been my honor to know Claire, and I could not be any more excited to be here tonight, so I'd like to introduce Claire Hudson.
Hi. I'm like the rest of the candidates. I'm not good at public speaking. But first off, I'd like to thank the Maryland Women of Tomorrow organization for selecting me for this honor. I would like to thank Mrs. Douglas, Principal Helm, and Ms. Shook for nominating and supporting me on this journey. I'd like to thank my grandparents, William and Marilyn Perret, for showing me the importance of helping and being involved with the community. I'd like to thank Jim and Darlene Hudson for showing me the importance of family. I would like to thank my brother and sister, Jacob and Kendra Hudson, for guiding me through academics and sports and being my best friends. Finally, I'd like to thank my parents, Ken and Krisha Hudson, for supporting all of the decisions I've made and loving me unconditionally even when it's difficult. I truly hope to leave a mark on the world, and I'd like to thank all of you guys for coming. I'll take it.
I have the distinct pleasure of introducing Achol Odala. Did I pronounce it correctly?
Yes.
Good. I got to the first name after Kenya. Achol comes by a very circuitous route to us. She currently resides in Baltimore, but in 2003, when she was living in Ethiopia, her family had to move to a refugee camp in Kenya because it wasn't safe in Ethiopia. Before they came to the United States, they fled to Kenya and stayed in the refugee camp there for almost 6 years. Life in the refugee camp was hard. English is her second language, but she speaks it extremely well. I've talked to her this evening several times, very politely. She speaks Arawak at home. Despite her language challenge, Achol was inducted into the National Honor Society. She is currently a sophomore at Digital Harbor High School. During her freshman year, she joined the soccer team and track and field as a distance runner. This winter, the team won Baltimore City Championship. Yay! Good for you. Ridiculous. Being proud of sports. Ethel has been in honor student role since middle school. She has received a number of awards, including Outstanding Athlete of the Year, Perfect Attendance, and Academic Excellence. She is planning to go to college to become a computer science major. Boy, could I use you. She wants to gain knowledge and skills to be successful in life and help other people. Last year, she asked a teacher to give her some idea about a project she could work on that would help those who are suffering and don't have safe places to stay. She is aware that around the world today, and she certainly has personal experience on this, there are so many problems that need to be fixed. To do that, she believes we all need to work together. It is indeed my pleasure to invite Ethel Oda to the stand.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I am Ethel Oda. I'm originally from Ethiopia. I came to Baltimore in 2010 with my family. I'm very happy to be here today. I would like to give thanks to everyone, my family, my friends, and everyone who's here for me. I want to be a computer science to help people through computers, through technology. Thank you.
We don't want to rush anybody. We understand this is Now I would like to invite Adrian Autumn to introduce Harley White.
Good evening, I'm Arian Odom, and I'm actually a commissioner with the Commission for Women in Calvert County. Many of our nominators have worked directly with the students through school, and my interaction with Harley has actually been from church. She's a lovely young lady with a very caring personality and attributes that are to be admired. She's always willing to assist with any project. She's a natural leader, and many people look up to her and admire her. She leads by example and always shows kindness and includes others. Her academic excellence is admirable and shares her knowledge freely to help others. She's always excelled in her studies. Her passion for sports and the balance of her academics appear to be done with ease, but it's not as easy to balance all of that. She maintains this consistently. Her goal is to be a pediatrician. She combines her love and knowledge for medicine and desire to help others, and I think that she makes an excellent pediatrician. She's contributed significantly to our church, to her school, and to our community. I didn't want to repeat anything that's already written in her bio, but please read it when you have a chance if you haven't already, and you'll see the combination of things that I've mentioned about her and why she has excelled in those areas. Harley White.
Hello. Well, as you can see, I'm not really prepared with anything, but I would just like to give thanks to Ms. Odom for encouraging me to apply for the Women of Tomorrow. I'd like to give special thanks to my family and Ms. Morton for always encouraging me to do the best I can in school and with my sports and maintaining everything so I can be successful and continue to be successful. Thank you.
Now, although you've already met her once, I will call once again to the podium Dr. Reverend Renee Williams to introduce Delaney Alexis.
Good evening, everyone. I did not nominate Delaney Alexis. Margie McLean, who is a member of Ladies of Quality, nominated her, and she could not be here tonight. But because I wear another hat, and that is I am also clergy, and I have known Delaney Alexis since she was born, 16 years, and she is a member of my home church where I currently fellowship back now after retiring from the pastorate myself. So I am honored tonight to stand in the gap, if you will, on behalf of Delaney Alexis Coley. Delaney Alexis is the only child of Phyllis and Kirby Coley, and the granddaughter of Rosa White, all of whom are here with her tonight. She's a 16-year-old rising senior at Newtown High School. She is an active member of Newtown's National Honor Society Student Government Association, Future Business Leaders of America, and is a member of the Parent Teachers Students Association. She is also the president of Les Pires, a college and career readiness organization in which she presents workshops for middle and high schoolers on how to be successful in their academic career. She has been an honor student since kindergarten and currently has an overall GPA of 4.01. The book says a little different, but things have changed, so that's why I'm reading what she's asked me to read, except you have the most current and updated information on Delaney Alexis. Delaney Alexis aspires to major in communications marketing while minoring in Spanish in order to become production media specialist. She has been accepted to many selective summer programs such as the Naval Academy, STEM Camp, 3 years in a row, the College Park Young Scholars Discovery Program, and the Susquehanna Leadership for Entrepreneurship Program. Delaney Alexis even had an internship with the Washington Post Urban Journalism Workshop at the young age of 14. In her freshman year of high school, being the youngest member ever to be accepted. She is also active at Studio A Modeling, Etiquette, and Dance Academy as a dancer and model, never ceasing to let a promising opportunity pass her by. Delaney Alexis has won first place in the Sigma Gamma Rho Mwangbu Scholarship, is the FBLA Baltimore County Public Speaking 1 2013 winner, and Miss Baltimore County International 2010. Miss Delaney Alexis is writing her second book entitled Simply a Young Lady with No Apologies, a guide to help teenagers take a bold and confident stance on being a young lady in the challenging 21st century. This remarkable young lady has received several awards, such as the Principal's Honor Roll, Most Outstanding Junior Debutante, and many others. But she is most prideful of her international global project entitled Pure Thirst for Life. The goal of her water project is to raise $20,000 in order to buy a well in Africa, ensuring a quality of life for the community and preserving generations to come. She believes that by the grace of God, her possibilities are endless. And I want to say on a personal note, indeed, Delaney Alexis, your possibilities are endless. You are a beautiful young lady. You are caring and kind and thoughtful, and that's what makes a difference in this world. We need more of you and more of the other honorees. Thank you and congratulations. Come on up.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
First, I'd like to say thank you to God, because without Him, nothing is possible. I thank you for giving me the strength and courage to challenge the status quo and make a difference in my community, nationally and internationally, with my international global project entitled Pure Thirst for Change. Next, I'd like to say thank you to my family. The Bible tells us that it takes a village to raise a child, and I really believe this to be true because they have made me into the diligent, persistent overachiever that I am today. My family has instilled in me a desire to be better and a feeling of discontentment with mediocrity that I cannot accept. Lastly, I would like to thank wholeheartedly the Maryland Department of Human Resources, Maryland Commission for Women, the Maryland State Department of Education for this honorary opportunity. Some may say that at the age of 16, writing my second book entitled Simply a Young Lady with No Apologies, A Guide to Struggling Teens of the 21st Century, conducting workshops about how to be successful in high school to middle schooler and incoming freshmen, taking honors, GT, and AP courses, being the president of Future Business Leaders of America, involved with Parent-Teacher Student Association, Student Government Association, and National Honor Society, and making a 4.01 is too dutiful. But I believe firmly that to whom much is given, much is required. Luke 12:48. I quote from the Gospel of Wealth, published in 1889 by Andrew Carnegie, that we as mankind have an innate responsibility of providing moderately for the legitimate wants of those dependent upon him. This is exactly why I deemed it necessary to found my organization called Pure Thirst for Change, Pure Thirst for Life. Established to raise $20,000 to build a well for a village in Africa. This is not a trivial matter. I want our civilization to understand that water is not a privilege, it's a right. I am are two of the most powerful words that an individual can utter, for whatever follows it determines one's destiny. As I have learned at Studio A, Modeling Etiquette and Dance Academy, I am raising the status of excellence by shooting for excellence and nothing less. I am putting myself to the challenge and mastering any test. I am beautiful, I am talented, I am intelligent, I am special, and I am destined for greatness. Give up, slow down, turn back never. For it's not enough to be equal, I must be better. Lastly, I appreciate my precedents like Shirley Chisholm, Mary McLeod Bethune, Rosa Parks, Lena Horne, and Maya Angelou, and women of today like Michelle Obama, my grandmother Rosa White, Christina Dressel, my mother Phyllis Coley, attorney Romaine Williams, and Marjorie McLean for nominating me and passing the torch to me so that I have the opportunity to be the woman of tomorrow. Thank you.
There was one over here.
That's good.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
May we have now Kathy Kearney and Lori Powers to come up and introduce our next honoree. Lori's being a little
My name is Kathy Carney, and I'm a guidance counselor at Patapsco High School and Center for the Arts. And I'm here with much pride to honor a student from Patapsco by the name of Mercedes Myrick. Now let me tell you a little bit about Mercedes. I've been working with her for the last 4 years. She's a bright young lady with an outgoing personality. She sets goals for herself and has the determination, the self-discipline, and the drive to successfully achieve them. Mercedes has an excellent time management skills. She's well organized, has integrity, as well as high morals and values. Optimistic and with a positive attitude, she doesn't let a learning disability hold her back. She works hard and has a love of learning. Mercedes was not only a member of our National Honor Society, but she served as the vice president as well. As a student in our music magnet program, Mercedes was the first violinist for the 4 years that she was in high school. She was also a member and an officer of the Tri-M Music Honor Society. Lieutenant Colonel Myrick is how we address her when she works with our JROTC program. As a participant in our sports program, Mercedes was a member of the cross-country, track and field, and indoor track teams. But the sport that she really enjoyed was wrestling. Yes, Mercedes was the only girl on our wrestling team for the 3 years that she did wrestling. Mercedes was involved with the class of 2014 steering committee, serving as their vice president. She was a member of our Student Government Association, and she worked on many school and community service projects. And while doing all of this, she worked part-time to support herself. During the summer of 2013, Mercedes represented Patapsco at Girls State. While there, she ran for an office, but she did not win. During an interview about the experience, Mercedes said, "It's really not about winning or losing. You're building yourself, you are growing, and you are prospering into a better person." Mercedes does not dwell on the past. She looks forward to the future. And as she so eloquently puts it, "I am determined to be the face of hope for my generation, to show that dreams can be achieved with motivation, to have faith and believe that all young people can succeed." This is our Mercedes Myrick.
I'm trying not to get too emotional, and I can't beat that last one. I'm sorry, I can't do that. But can you hear me? Okay. Well, now that we got that established, okay. I guess I would like to start off with a quote. It was one of our scriptures when I used to be in our youth group. It was, "Be out thou an example of believers, always abounding in good works." Mosiah 5:15. And the reason why I feel like I'm going to get emotional up here is not for myself. It's actually for all you younger ladies, because you have the power. You have the power and are showing the power that you believe in yourself, that you can make a difference in the world. And the reason why you are here today is because other people believe in your dream. And that's what's so beautiful and so magical about this award today. It's not even about just the things that we're doing now, it's the things that we're going to do later. And that's why we're here. And so I thank you. Right now, I think I'm the oldest one in the room who's getting this award. But I look up to you ladies. Like, you're the future for my little sisters. I have 6 sisters, I think. But it's just amazing to me. I thank all of you ladies for setting such an example to me and for the girls, my younger sisters, and for the other girls in the community. Everything you're doing is going to help. Everything that we've done is already helping. We are not just inspiring the young ladies, we've inspired everybody else. And you should be so proud of everything that you're doing. No matter what struggles that you go through, that this is a message that I'm just saying to you personally, honestly, you can make it. You can make it, because if you put your mind to anything, you will make it. And that's the message that I've been trying to get out. If you put your mind to it, you can do it. So I thank you, ladies. I thank you, Miss Powers, Miss Carney, stepdad. You guys have truly been my guardian angels this last 4 years, and I honestly don't know what I would do without you guys. Thank you.
Now it is my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, who had to sprint down here and fight through traffic and hope she could find her way in to where we're going. But she did make it. She's here. She's ready to go. And I'm sure she's as inspired as I am with all these young people in here today. Laura Gamble is the regional president of PNC Bank of Greater Baltimore, or Greater Maryland, sorry. In this role, she is the senior banking executive in the region, accountable for the growth of PNC's core businesses in Greater Maryland. And we spent time reminiscing back and forth because we have a couple of common people that we know through the PNC family, which is kind of cool and fun. Before joining PNC in April of 2012, she was founding partner of Skipjack Partners, LLC, a woman-owned business consultancy. Prior to Skipjack Partners, she spent more than 20 years in banking. The most recent 7 years as president, Bank of America, Maryland. In addition to her role as Maryland president, she had a variety of businesses within Bank of America in commercial banking, treasury management, and wealth management. She has a long history of civic and philanthropic involvement. Currently, she is a trustee of the Baltimore Community Foundation, the Shepherd Pratt Health System, Mercy Health Systems, and lucky she's sitting here with Christine, who's with MedStar, Greater Baltimore Committee, Ready at 5, University of Maryland School of Medicine, Lovely Lane United Methodist Church, and a director of the Central Maryland Transportation Alliance. She was named one of 13 people to watch in 2013 by the Baltimore Business Journal and was recognized as a member of Baltimore's Power 20 in 2009. She was also named Most Influential Marylander in 2009 and one of the top women in Maryland in 2007 and 2003. She earned a bachelor's degree in business administration from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and we'll forgive her for not graduating from the University of Maryland, but Laura.
Thank you. Truly is a pleasure to be here with you tonight. You know, in public speaking, they say there's a couple positions that you don't ever want, like you don't want to be between people and cocktails or people and dinner. And I have to say, I'm not sure I wanted to be the one to follow all those incredibly inspirational young women. And congratulations to all the award winners here tonight. Being recognized for your vision, your service to your communities, and your pursuit of excellence in your academic activities, it's so impressive, and it's made even more impressive by the fact that you're so young, in middle and high school. You are amazing women already. And you're really setting the bar very high for your generation, which is a great thing. And I know that those of us who are older are very proud of what you have already accomplished and look forward to seeing what you're going to accomplish in the future. And I have to say, personally, just hearing your stories, you really give me great hope for our country and our world to be unleashing such an amazing set of women on the world. And I'm very proud that you're all from Maryland as well. So I wasn't sure what to speak to you about tonight, so I asked my daughter, who just recently got home from finishing her sophomore year at Haverford College, and I asked her if I ever gave her any advice worth passing on when she was in high school. So every parent in the room knows that is a really dangerous question. I must have been really, really tired or something to ask that question. So I pretty much got the answer I think you were all expecting, which is she reminded me that, you know, unsolicited advice is seldom welcomed. And so that made me look up some quotes around giving advice, and one that I thought I liked particularly well was by Oscar Wilde, the famous playwright and author. And he said, "Don't give a woman advice. One should never give a woman anything she can't wear in the evening." Probably a pretty smart guy.
So since I've been so advised, I won't be dispensing any advice this evening. But I recently had an opportunity to speak to a group of women business owners this week at the National Association of Women Business Owners Baltimore chapter. And I shared some statistics with them that I think may be of interest to the young women here tonight as to further challenge you as you think about what you're going to do in the world and what the state of women in the world is, especially women in the business world. So starting with just some of the basic statistics, as women, we're 50.8% of the total population of the U.S. We're 39.2% of the labor force, 14.2% of executive officers at companies, 3% of the boards of directors, and 3% of the Fortune 500 chief executive officers. So from an academic perspective, for the class of 2011 to 2012, women earned 57.3% of the bachelor's degrees, 59.9% of the master's degrees, and 51.4% of the doctorate degrees. Which is pretty impressive if you ask me. And in 1995, there were no women chief executive officers in the Fortune 500. Now there are 23, but that still only represents 4.6% of the total. So you all have a lot of room to grow. And if women were employed in the same percentages as men, the U.S. gross domestic product would be 5% higher. And some other interesting statistics along those lines is that if that same were true in Japan, their GDP would be 9% higher. And I believe the GDP number for Egypt, if that was also the case there, would be 36% higher. So, as you can see, women are a powerful economic force. Are things improving? Yes, without a doubt. You saw the CEO number. Things are definitely moving forward. Will we ever reach parity? I certainly hope so, but I think that challenge is one that the younger women in the room are going to have to take up and carry on. Things have certainly changed a lot. When my mother graduated from high school, she told me she had two choices. She could be a nurse or she could be a teacher. And she became a nurse because her older sister was already a nurse, and so she kind of got pushed that way. She was always a little bit aggravated about that, but it was a very good career for her. And she had way more choices than my grandmother, who was really actually very fortunate to even be able to find a job outside of the home at the time, and she worked in a textile mill. And she made substantially less money than the men who were working the line alongside her. So things have continued to change in the 29 years that I've been in the workforce. One of the things that was recently brought to my attention that I'd actually forgotten about is women couldn't even take out a loan by themselves until the mid-1980s. Before then, they had to have a man co-sign it, so that you couldn't even walk into a bank and get a car loan without bringing your father or your husband or another male along with you to co-sign the loan. And one of the things we were talking about at our table that I remember very vividly is when I started in banking, you couldn't even wear pants. Women were not allowed to wear pants in the office or have bare arms or legs. And if you did do that, and misfortunate show up that way, they would send you home and say, if you do it again, you're fired. So that is something that has definitely changed. And it does seem really funny now. We do laugh about it, but as we were talking and as I have this conversation in the office, if you ask any woman who's been working as long as I have, the first time they saw a woman wear pants in the office, I swear you can remember the exact day it happened. It was such a radical event. But that one we definitely laugh about now. So thankfully, we have made a lot of progress in the workforce. So when the time comes for you to decide, the young women in the room, what you want to do, you will have a lot of options. And then sometimes having too many options can be very overwhelming, as opposed to only having a few. But you have the luxury of many, many options in terms of what you can pursue from an educational perspective and from a career perspective. And I hope that you will continue to pursue education and career and by challenging yourself to stretch and grow. The most important thing you can do, and I think most of you, you've demonstrated that you already know how to do this, but continue to do it, is you really need to continue to learn how to think critically and how to communicate well. If you have those two skills, I guarantee you, you will do very, very well, continue to do very, very well in your educational career as well as any work career you pursue. And when you do join the workforce, don't be afraid to take on challenges and to seek out opportunities for advancement. Women in the workforce generally do not take career risks as often as their male counterparts. But that's an entirely different conversation that we'll save for a later date. Probably the next time you're being honored, because I am certain that all of you will be honored again in the future. You are an outstanding group of young women, and congratulations again, ladies. It's a pleasure to be here to celebrate with you tonight, and thank you for that honor.
At this time, I'd like to take an opportunity to introduce to you and to thank Loretta Gumanart, who is our videographer. I'd like to assist her, and I want you to give a really good round of applause, is Danielle Penter, who is an honoree from last year. And her mother, Naika Kate. So, we're delighted to have you.
I just want to quickly say thank you to our contributors and sponsors, particularly PNC Bank. This is the third time PNC Bank has stood up for us and substantially supported us in a financial way. 2 years in a row for the Women of Tomorrow program, and several years ago when we were doing an economics conference at Prince George's Community College, and there was never any question. I just find it amazing that I made one phone call and it was, well, sure. And every time since, it's been sure. So we really, really do say thank you so much, Laura, to you and your company, and to you too for coming. We're just delighted to have you. Also, I want to just point out that the corsages the girls are wearing tonight are as a generous donation from Giant Food, and the flowers that also received. And for the first time we had joining us this year was AARP. We figured from one end of the spectrum to the other. And all those, and they were right on board when I talked to them and said, but our computer's gone down. I said, well, you need one of these young computer kids to come in and fix your computer. So it took a while before they actually got the check to us. But as a result, all these chocolates on your table were as a result of that donation. So I encourage you, take chocolates with you. We've got so many, we don't know what to do with them all. Now I'm going to get emotional. Have you ever heard such wonderful, articulate women? I mean, they've done so many marvelous things, but to be able to get up here in front of a crowd and talk to you all from the heart the way they have is absolutely amazing, and I think they deserve a really good round.